Hello students, today we are going to perform one simulation experiment on the differential protection scheme for transformer. But before starting this simulation experiment, first you have to know the basic theory of this differential protection. Now in this picture you can see this is a single line diagram for our differential protection scheme. So we have to protect some equipment uh, for by this differential protection. Now this equipment, it may be a alternator winding, a transformer winding, a bus bar, or etc. So this can be protected by using differential protection. Now next you have to know what is differential protection. In case of differential protection, first of all you can see we have two CTs are taken. One CT is taken in the incoming side and another CT is taken in the outgoing side. So the CT is in the incoming side, the current passing through the CT in the incoming side is equal to, you can see it will pass first through the first CT1, and from the current passing through the outgoing side, this current will pass to CT2. Now in CT secondary of CT1 and CT2, that is these two currents are I1 and I2. Now, when these two CT secondary currents are equal, this differential protection will not work because this is the healthy condition of the system. But if you have any fault in this region, so this is the internal region, or this is also called the zone of operation. So differential relay, it should operate within this zone of operation, so that is in between and CT2, city and outgoing city. Okay, so in this region, if we have any fault or internal fault or through fault, then these two currents I1 and I2, that is the CT secondary currents in the incoming side and the CT secondary currents in the outgoing side, these are not equal. So in this case, this relay will operate, it should operate. And again you have to remember another thing, that is the CT ratio, that is n is to 1 and n is to 1 in both sides. Now this is for alternator and bus bar, this is okay. But if we have a transformer there, then you have to remember the CT secondary current in the incoming side and the CT secondary current in the outgoing side. You have to remember that you have to adjust this CT ratio in such a way that I1 current and I2 current, these two CT secondary currents must be equal. Okay, because you know that we have we may have step up transformer or step down transformer. In that case the outgoing current will change, so in that case you have to change the CT ratio for transformer protection scheme according to this. So I will show you this in a simulation, how to change it. So next, this differential protection scheme, it should not operate for the external fault. So our zone of operation is the region between CT1 and CT2. So if we have any fault in the outside this region, it will be called as external fault. So in that case, this relay should not operate. This relay will only operate when fault occurs in the zone of operation. In this differential protection relay, you see we have a operating coil. So this is the operating coil having NO number of turns, and we have two restraining coils having equal number of turns, NR by 2 and NR by 2. One restraining coil is taken in the incoming side, another restraining coil, it is connected with the outgoing side. So these two are the restraining coil, produces the restraining torque, and current passing through the operating coil, that is NO number of turns having operating coil. So this current is called the differential current, that is I1 minus I2. So this I1 and I2 is equal for normal condition, but for internal fault I1 and minus I2, this value is not zero. This I1 minus I2, it is called spill current or differential current. So when this spill current is higher than the pickup current of this differential delay, then this relay should operate. Otherwise, this relay should not operate. Another thing you have to remember that polarity marking of incoming city and outgoing city. Suppose if we consider the current in the incoming side is entering into the dot marking of the city, then current should leave the dot marking for the outgoing side. So first see, current is entering into the dot marking for incoming side, and current should leave the dot marking for the outgoing city. So it is very important, otherwise this differential protection will not work properly. So next I'm going to show you the simulation. Now for simulation I'm going to take these ratings of the generator: 100 megawatt, 11 kV bus bar. Then this is the protection scheme, as you can see, and we are going to use some static load. And now the static load is 50 kVA static load, and the other bus bar voltage is 6.6 kV. This is our ratings for this experiment. For this simulation experiment, we are going to use this ETAP software, ETAP 12.6.0 software. Now double click on this software. Now this will show you this window. So next, click on new project. Now file, go to file, click on new project. This will give you this type of window. Now go to browse. You have to select your own folder. I am just clicking on C drive. My folder is taken here. So I'm taking test, or you have to give a file name, project name there, that is test. I'm taking test2. And then you can choose the unit system. It is English or metric. I am taking metric unit system. Next, click on OK. Now here, as a user, you can give your name, then click OK. After that, we get this kind of window. After getting this kind of window, now you have to select your components. Initially, you have to select that we need a generator. Now in the right side, this is the generator button. So we need two bus bar there, one single phase transformer there, and I'm taking one static load. So first you have to take these components, and then you have to join them. First consider the generator, then take one bus bar, choose the bus bar, drag it according to you. Then take a transformer. I'm just taking the transformer, single phase transformer. Again, we need a bus bar, and then we have a static load. Now take the static load here. So you have to connect them step by step. So first you have to take the ratings for the generator, then you have to connect. Now just I'm taking zoom it for your convenience, and that zoom in, so it is not visible. Okay. So next, double click on this generator. Now first of all, what you have to choose? You have to choose the operation mode. Now we need a swing bus or reference bus for our experiment. So I am going to choose swing mode or swing bus operation. So this is swing mode. Then go to the next tab. In the next tab, you have to give the rating. So I'm just going to take this rating tab. Then we need impedance model tab and the inertia tab. So these are the essential tab for our generator. So first of all, click on the rating tab. Click on rating tab. You have to choose the generator rating. So for this case, we are going to use 100 megawatt generator. So just click 100 megawatt. Then 11 kV voltage is generated. Now these voltages are taken and power factor is taken 0.85. Now this portion is rating. Then go to the impedance model. Now initially in the impedance model, you can see the impedance data are blank. I'm taking by default equivalent model, dynamic model as equivalent model, and just click on the typical data button. So if we take typical data button, you can see this is the typical data button. So if we click on this typical data button, it will take the typical value for the impedances. So just check it, click on the typical data, and this impedance is now selected. So next we are going to choose the inertia for this generator. Now click on the inertia tab. Now take 0.2 for each one of them. 0.2 is the inertia constant for our simulation experiment. Then click OK. This data are enough for our generator. You need not to take any other uh, data for this. Now next you have to join this generator with bus 1. Just click on the generator and join it to the bus 1. Now automatically you can see bus 1 voltage is now selected 11 kV. Okay, so initially it was 0, but now it selected 11 kV. Connect the transformer primary with this 11 kV bus or bus 1. Next, double click on the transformer. Go to the rating button for transformer. We are going to use this rating. These are the essential rating, impedance. Okay, these two part is essential. So first of all, I am clicking on the rating. Now in this rating portion, you can see primary voltage is 11 kV. It is automatically selected. So you have to choose the secondary voltage only. So if we choose the secondary voltage, suppose it is taken 6.6 kV. For our experiment, we are taking 6.6 kV voltage, and the MVA rating is 10 MVA. So that is 6.6 kilovolt, and MVA rating is taken 10 MVA transformer. Now click on the outside. Now we can see the full load ampere. This FLA, it stands for full load ampere. The full load for primary is 525, and full load for secondary, a full load current for secondary, that is 875. So these are the full load current for primary and secondary respectively. So next you have to choose the impedance. In the impedance, to choose the impedance for this transformer, first you have to click on the impedance tab. Now initially you can see these impedances, initially these are taken 0. These values are taken 0. So you have to choose the typical Z and X by R and typical value for no load test data. So you have to click on this 2 tab. First typical Z. This is automatically selected. The first impedances are automatically selected. Then for no load test data, click on typical value tab. This will show you the typical value of impedances for transformer. So after that, you have to click OK. Now transformer part is done. Next, secondary of the transformer is now connected with the bus 2. Now bus 2 voltage will be automatically, it will be selected 6.6 kV. Now you can observe this. It becomes 6.6 kV. Now connect the static load with the bus 2. Now for static load, I am taking 50 kVA load. Now double click on this static load, go to loading, click on MVA button. It becomes KVA now, and now I'm going to take this 50 kVA. Now choose 50 kVA is the static load now. Now click OK. So this part is done. Now you have to check whether everything is okay or not. All the parameters are okay or not. For that you have to run the load flow analysis. To run the load flow analysis, we have to click on this button. And first I'm just going to click on this load flow analysis button. Just click on it. After clicking this, you have to choose the method of load flow analysis. So it may be Gauss-Seidel, adaptive Gauss-Seidel, Newton-Raphson. So first click on this briefcase. First I'm clicking on this briefcase, and then I'm taking Newton-Raphson method for our experiment. Click OK. Then you have to run the load flow. Now in the right side, this tab, this is called the run load flow analysis. So if I click on this load flow and I run load flow analysis, so next in the next window you have to give a output file name for load flow. I am taking it load flow. This file name is given load flow. Okay, then click OK button. Now if you click this, now you can see automatically will get the kilowatt value, active power and reactive power flows through this transmission line. Okay, so these are the value for load flow analysis for our experiment. So now you can see everything is okay here, nothing is wrong. So if we click on this alert view, you can check it whether we have any overload condition or under voltage condition or not. So just click on it. So everything is okay now. You can see we don't have any kind of fault there. So if we have any overload, then you have to reduce the load. So if you have any under voltage, so you have to change the loads here also. Okay. So next, I'm just going to just join the protective instrument. So then again go to the edit button in the left side. So after that, so we have some CT, PT and different types of relay. So we need some differential relay there. So first of all, you have to choose the CT. So in this case, we're going to take this. These are the CT. Then we have a PT here. These are the different types of relay. Then we need some circuit breaker there. Okay, so I'm going to select this all of them. So first select CT. Now click on this CT and take it in the incoming side. Now remember that for this CT, one dot marking, it is one small dot marking is given here. One small dot marking is given here. Okay, so this dot marking is very essential for our experiment. So just take this, drag this CT in the incoming side. So current is entering into dot marking. Again choose another CT. Here also dot marking is given in the upward side. So here also I am taking the dot marking. Current is entering into the dot marking for outgoing CT. So this is actually wrong. Okay. So according to our thumb rule, when current enters into dot marking in the incoming side, so current should leave the dot marking in the outgoing side. Okay, so this is actually the wrong polarity, but I'm just going to select this, just show you what will be the problem in this case. So these cities are selected like this. Now double click on incoming city, go to rating. Now this current is primary current. It is decided by the transformer. Now double click on transformer. So first check the full load current. So incoming side full load current is 525 and in the outgoing side full load current is 875. Okay, so in the incoming side CT primary current, it is taken 525 ampere, and CT secondary current I am just choosing it 5 ampere. This is Actually 5 ampere is generally selected. So I'm taking 5 ampere is a CT secondary current for incoming CT. Then again double click on outgoing CT, go to rating. This primary current is 875 ampere, and CT secondary current, it must be same current, that is 5 ampere current. Okay, so these two currents are selected. Next, choose the circuit breaker. Next, choose the circuit breaker from here. So just click on this circuit breaker and take it in the incoming side. Just take it here. Double click on this circuit breaker. Go to rating window. Then you have to select the proper model of your circuit breaker. Now this circuit breaker is connected with 11 kV bus. You can see here it is connected with 11 kV bus. So first click on the library button. You have to select the value close to 11 kV rated voltage. So for here we have different value, 25, 17.5, 12. So I'm just going to choose this 12. I'm just going to choose this model for our experiment. So click this 12, then click OK. So now you can see rated voltage is 12 kV and rated ampere is 1250 ampere. Now what you have to do, you have to change this to take it 11 kV, and the rated ampere, it must be 525 ampere current. And you can also change the time of operation from here. I am just taking 0.2. 0.2 is the delay, or 200 millisecond is the delay. So next click OK. That's enough for our circuit breaker. So next go to the differential relay. This is your differential relay. Now click on this. This is it showing differential relay, as you can see. Now choose this relay, drag it here. Now next you have to connect the CTs, CT1 and CT2, CT1 and CT2 for our experiment. Okay, now double click on this relay, differential relay. First of all, we have to choose the model of the relay. Okay, so first of all, you have to choose the model from here, DIF. So click on this, go to library. So here you can see we have different types of relay. The functions are different. So this function is by default, that is overcurrent. But you need a differential operation. So you have to choose a proper model for this. So I'm taking Alstom company. I'm taking Alstom company and I'm going to choose CAG14. This CAG14, now you can see this is the differential operation. So CAG14, now I'm going to select, click OK on this. Now next you can change the operating time. It is by default, it is taking 0.02 second. I'm taking it 0.1 second. Then this part is done. So next you have to go to input button. So input is taken from the CT1 and CT2, and outgoing it will go to the circuit breaker. Okay, so first click on input. Now here ID must be given. I'm choosing CT1 and in the second CT2. So these are the inputs for the CT, from the CT. And this another voltage can be taken, but for our differential protection we need not to consider any voltage there. So I'm just choosing CT1 and CT2. Next, select output tab, go to add button and choose the circuit breaker, that is CB1. You have to choose the circuit breaker CB1, then click OK. So this differential relay will operate CV1 circuit breaker. Then click OK. So after that, you have to run the start protective device coordination. So this is the tab. You have to click on it. You have to click on this tab. So if we click on this tab, we'll get this kind of window. So again, you have to choose the type of fault. It may be LL fault, line to line fault, symmetrical fault, or LG fault. For our experiment, I'm going to choose line to ground fault. So go to sequence of operation, the third tab. So go select line to ground. Okay. Then you can see here this icon will change automatically for LG fault. So click on this fault, artificial fault. Now create some artificial fault in the outside region of the protection. Okay, so actually what is the our zone of protection is, so this is the zone of protection. Okay, so this is the internal region. This is the called the zone of protection, and any fault occurs in the outside region will be called as external fault. Okay, so if we take some external fault here, if we create some external fault here, first of all we need some output file, that is FAULT fault. I'm taking fault. Okay, now if we take this kind of fault, we can see this differential relay and circuit breaker both will operate. Okay, the circuit breaker will operate for external fault. If we bring this fault in the inside zone, that is the internal fault region, here also we get the operation of circuit breaker and relay. So in both cases, internal fault and for external fault, in both cases, this differential relay is operating or circuit breaker is operating. But this is not correct. So this relay should not operate. Okay. So this is only because of wrong polarity of outgoing CT. So what we can do, you have to remove this. I'm going to remove this CT and again choose another CT, that is CT3 here. Now again this polarity it is given in the upward direction, so select this CT and press Ctrl R. Press Ctrl R 2 times. So it will change the direction, it will rotate the CT, and now drag this CT in this region. Okay, so now you can see this current, outgoing current, it is leaving this dot marking. It is leaving this dot marking. Okay, so now again you have to choose the current, CT current. Go to rating. This current is 875 ampere for primary, and for the secondary that is 5 ampere. So here you can see the CT ratio for CT1 and CT2, this is not equal. For CT1 it is 525 is to 5, and for outgoing CT it is 875 is to 5. Okay, so this is the different ratio for transformer. So next, connect CT2 CT3 with the differential relay. Now double click on this differential relay. So go to input again. So you have to select outgoing CT again, that is CT3. Now CT1 and CT2, CT1 and CT3 both are selected now with correct polarity. Now click OK. So next you have to again create the fault. Go to start coordination, start protective device coordination. Click on this. Fault is already selected. Click on the fault, artificial fault. Now if we take the fault in the outside region, now we can see this relay will not operate and this circuit breaker will not operate for external fault. Any kind of external fault, this protective scheme will not operate. Now, if we bring this fault inside the zone of protection, then this circuit breaker will operate. So this is called the proper operation of differential protection scheme, that is percentage bias differential protection scheme. So in this way, this differential relay will operate. Now, after operating this relay, you have to go to the sequence viewer to check the time of operation. Just click on this sequence viewer. This will show you this kind of window. In this window you can see this relay. It will operate after 1.1 second, that is 100 millisecond, and circuit breaker will operate after 300 millisecond or zero point 0.3 second. Actually, for the relay, differential relay, your operating time is, it is already selected 0.3 second. Okay, it is sorry, 0.1 second for relay, and for circuit breaker we have selected 0.2 second for the operation. So when this relay will operate after 0.2 second, the circuit breaker will operate. So overall 0.3 is the time of operation of the circuit breaker. Okay, so initially after 100 millisecond relay will operate, then after 200 millisecond, that is total 300 millisecond. Okay, zero point 0.1 and 0.2 second, that is zero point 0.3 total circuit breaker will operate. Okay, so you have to consider both of this, then we'll get the exact time of operation. So you have to take this data also for our experiment. So that's all for our experiment. This is our simulation experiment for differential protection. Thank you.